We are indeed with the man of the hour, the leader in the open section, Fabiano Caruana. Fabi, welcome back to the show. You're coming quite often to our show.
That's the only reason to win.
Yes. It seems like you want to see us.
I want to see you. We're doing a lot of shows together recently.
That is true. We see each other quite often. Tell us about this game. Actually, first of all, tell us about this game, the one between Lenier and Elshan, because it finished in 20 minutes. Were you completely shocked?
Was it actually 20 minutes?
Yes. Maybe
so
10,
I saw this
15
coming
minutes.
when he castled after c4, because this was played before, this whole game. This was played in a high-level game. I think it was like Grishuk Duda.
Really?
Really? I don't see it
like
here.
the way that, like after bishop takes e4, this happened in some like online rapid game.
Okay, yes, probably rapid, yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's not there, but this was definitely played. I mean, it's a trap. Like you're supposed to play dc4 here.
Yes.
It's I played, well, you know, we prepared this line for the 2018 World Championship, so I played this quite a lot with black. And the theory is like bishop c4, castle, rook e1, knight c6, d5, and knight b8. I think I played like this against Hare Krishna. But yeah, I mean, once he played castle, I'm like, I know exactly what's going to happen next.
So you were looking at this game and you were already prefacing what's going to happen.
I didn't want to look. it's like watching a car crash in slow motion when he plays castle, and you know exactly that he missed. It's a bit of a surprise he had bishop e4, but I mean, if you play this opening, you should know the basic tricks about it.
And I think this was the caveat. He played perhaps for the first time, this opening. Now let's talk about
like,
your... Yes?
Why against... I understand it's a great opening, the Petrov, but
Yeah.
why against Lenier?
An expert in the Petrov.
I mean, Lenier is like the
Yeah.
biggest expert in the world on the Petrov. It's, even if you don't lose in 10 moves, it's still a strange choice. But okay, yeah, it's... accidents happen.
Difficult game indeed. And you started with this intriguing queen to c2 followed by e4 as well. And it seemed like you surprised your opponent early on. How did you come up with this idea?
Well, I saw that Alex played this earlier in the tournament, dc4. So I thought maybe he prepared the Slav, specifically this line for the tournament. And I remembered that when I was preparing this opening for black in 2020 for the candidates, that this e4 line was very dangerous. And later on, Firouzja played it against me. And it was a very dangerous position, I thought. So I thought, okay, this will be an interesting try. It was interesting because he actually approached the position the same way I did against Firouzja.
Yes.
While like bishop d3, a5 is probably the best move to get knight a6 quickly, and a mess begins. But he played a6, and I was a bit surprised. I didn't expect that he would go for, okay, we transpose later to my game against Firouzja. Like after rook d1, h6, I think we transposed.
Yes.
Yeah, so we got a different move order. I couldn't remember exactly how, but I remembered that he played h3 here with the idea of bishop e3.
Yes.
And this was like an online game during the pandemic. And I remember that this plan of queen e2 to bring the queen later to g4 was the most dangerous way.
So you've analyzed that game against Firouzja?
Like 2 years ago. So I kind of remembered some of the ideas, but I definitely messed it up very quickly. Like I think this knight e1 was probably good. Queen b6 is very natural. Yeah, I wasn't sure queen g4, bishop e3 first, but let's say queen g4, g6. And yeah, here I was hesitating. Like bishop e3, I was worried that he'll get knight b8 in. And I didn't want to allow this knight b8 and knight c6. But maybe the knight ends up being very poorly placed there, which is what I realized later. But the position was like a bit of a mystery to me. I was trying to understand it. He was playing very quickly, and I started to feel under pressure. And I don't really understand the position well enough, and so I wanted to stop his knight b8. That's why I played bishop d2. I was thinking he would play a5, and I would play...
and the idea, if he goes knight to b8, you
yeah,
have bishop to
yeah,
b5.
here there's bishop a5. So b4, a5 was very natural. And I was thinking at least now his knight can't get to b8, to b4. But then I realized that I don't really have an easy way to continue play. Like his king is stuck in the center,
Yeah.
but eventually it might get to the king side. And yeah, I wasn't too happy with how it had turned out. So then we got, I mean, I think it was about equal always. I was a bit more happy with my position than his, let's say.
At this point. How did you assess the position at this point?
I was happy here, but still I was low on time and not exactly sure, so I played a bit, probably a bit too slowly and not concretely enough, and you could even say like a little bit passively.
But still, there are a lot of things happening around the king side. You have ideas of queen to f3, put a lot of pressure on f7. And then this moment came. You took queen to e2.
Yeah, I mean, it's just very, very silly because it was a normal-ish game, complicated position. I thought we both played normally, maybe
Yeah.
not great, but normally, and then just an absurd blunder. I didn't understand even what the point was. Of
And
this
he
move.
thought for like 13 minutes at this point. What was your reaction when you saw him touching the king and going for king to g8?
I hadn't even considered this move in advance because it looks terrible. you loosen the knight on f6, and then like within a second I saw that you can take and play rook a5. I was thinking two options of his were, one was this rook c3, it's very strange, queen e5, queen b8. And then I was going to play rook c3 because if I take on e6, surprisingly I think it's a mistake. King f7, knight g5, king g7, and the endgames are probably a draw. But I have rook c3, bc, queen e3, and like let's say he has no easy way to defend this pawn. Let's say queen b3, rook a5. Once my rook gets in the game, the attack is tremendous. So so this I was happy with, but I thought maybe after queen e2, knight e4,
After
I thought I would be better, but no,
queen
no,
to
no.
knight e4 here? Or-
In the game.
In the game, yes.
Knight e4, take, and then he has rook c3, and then this is a crucial idea. And here I was looking at queen e5, king, I wasn't sure where.
Let's say
Yeah, take, and rook a5, c2, rook c5. Yeah, rook c8. I mean, it's holding
crazy,
holding
yeah.
on by only this detail for
So
black.
if you take queen to
Yeah,
b7,
no, here I
actually
lose.
you
Here I lose because of the pawn.
Yeah,
So that's why his king goes to h7, not g8, because otherwise with the king on g8, it's a check.
that makes sense. So here, if you go king to g8,
Yeah,
you
here-
the same line.
Maybe he has.
There's no more rook to
But he has rook c8 instead of. Yeah, instead of c2, I
c2,
see rook
yes.
c8. Okay. Anyway, black is the one who has to calculate this to a draw, so I wasn't enormously worried. But king g8 is just a very bad mistake.
Fabiano, first of all, congratulations. You are winning game after game, but also your competitors are coming from behind, especially Ray Robson. What is your take on Ray's result?
Oh, I think he played a great game today. I mean, I didn't check the game, but it looked like he had a very strong initiative from the opening. I thought Wesley played this very risky line. It seemed like Ray knew it quite well, and I don't know if he was like always much better, but it looked like Wesley was under pressure. So yeah, Ray is playing very well. I don't know who else is.
Darush?
Nobody else is on +2, right?
Darush.
No, Darius is on +1.
But is. And a Wonder is losing to Jeffrey, right? So Jeffrey goes on +1, is that correct?
I wonder made a draw against Jeffrey.
Oh, I thought he would.
So
thought he would be in
Wander
trouble.
is
Okay.
still on +1. I think everybody is on +1
Yeah.
and you on +3.
Yeah, it's still a long way to go, but the last few days have been good.
Guys,
Indeed, Fabi, just keep it up. It's a pleasure watching you play in great form, and right now you're on a roll, so do enjoy yourself.
I was
Gaming is a lot of
wondering.
fun.
I was actually wondering that Fabiano has this great score. Remember, we were discussing that he has this fantastic score against Alexander. And is it helping? I mean, is it helpful when you know that your opponent doing really badly with you? I mean, have you thought about it?
I think it puts a lot of pressure on the other guy who doesn't have a good score. So it does get in your head if you're consistently playing poorly against someone. So yeah, against Alex, I've had a really good score the last few years. We've only really played in the U.S. Championship, but I've won every game. So maybe that also contributed to when he started to feel under pressure, then it put him under a bit more psychological pressure.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought also we were discussing today about the different approaches. Are you concentrated on your game only and try not to really check the games of the others? Or you really like to walk around and check what's going on?
No, I check all the games. I mean, today it was impossible not to.
Right.
But it looked like, I mean, it was a very bloody day, wasn't it?
Yes.
Like,
Yes, it
Hans
was.
lost. It seemed like he got a very bad position from the opening. Wesley losing is a really big result.
Yeah, 5 decisive games, I think, so far, yes.
Well, I
So-
guess
Yes.
Sam against Sam will be a draw.
4 in the
Yeah,
open
it's
sections.
just
yeah.
completely blockaded.
Yeah.
So they're both playing solidly. I guess they're playing decently.
50% right now.
Isn't Sevian on +1?
Ah,
or-
Sevian is on +1, yes.
Yeah, so he's having a pretty good tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, full control over all boards, it
Yeah.
seems like, yes. Thank you, Fabi.
The curious mind. And again, very, very well done. Do keep up the good work. And let's take a look at the results.